So our idea was we're going to have a really long shot to start off with, and it'll be like completely silent, no diegetic sound, and it'll be a high-angle shot, so they look really vulnerable, and it's going to be of someone walking along the corridor. There'll be sound effects of someone screaming, causing the camera to then pan around and like show a wall where the titles are going to start. There'll be a lot of quick cuts with like sinister objects and things like that. The music will crescendo until the end when there'll be a musical attack, and then it goes straight to a regular setting. For camera work, there'll be quite a lot of askew angles, just to make the audience feel quite uncomfortable. They'll only show you the character like really close up, so you can't see a full shot of them, apart from right at the start. Extreme close-ups to focus on the objects. Only a couple of establishing shots, low-angle shots to make viewers feel intimidated. Handheld camera so it looks shaky.
So for the opening, we're thinking of doing like low-key lighting. It's quite conventional for the sort of genre that we're going for. And also we got this little thing for like a strobe effect, as you can see, like that. The costumes are going to be very dark, so it kind of blends in and fits in with the setting, and casual to link it to reality. It's like something that could easily happen. We're using the school because it's like convenient and they well fits in with the setting, and we're going to use creepy objects and stuff for props. And the character will take up most of the scene because it's the main character. So it's to make the like tension build. There's shortcuts to like make it disorientated and quick. All right, so there's we're going to use editing quite a lot for overlays for distortion and confusion to the set as well. Shadowing to link it back into the editing with overlays and stuff. And a dark tone to make it even darker than what we would be giving out there. And then add fear with the use of editing.
So the graphics we use sans serif font in a scratchy kind of messy handwritten style. We're basing this a lot on the opening credits in Seven, and it represents the personality of the antagonist as being kind of unstable and not normal in the way that the writing is also not what you'd normally see. The colours will probably be black or white depending on the background, so that connotes the fight between good and evil, and it will also help the font to stand out from the background. The font will be in varying sizes and places on the screen, so it confuses the viewer and kind of disorientates them, and it represents the personality of the antagonist again by showing that you can't expect what they're going to do.
For the soundtrack, we're going to use a number of different techniques to give the opening, make the opening suspense. We can use score, which will be non-diegetic, for the soundtrack, which will be creepy music, such as hopefully is playing. Something like this to add suspense to the opening. There will be no lyrics in the track because that's not for when the music's played normally. We usually use lyrics in tracks. There's going to be overlapping sound effects, for instance, screams and slamming of doors and scratching down chalkboards and so on like that. and like we said in our narrative, there's going to be a musical attack, so the musical build up, and then suddenly cut to build a lot of suspense. Our target audience for the piece is based between 15 and 30-year-olds, because this is, for a psychological thriller, this is sort of conventional things that these sort of people look for.
Okay, so same questions as always. Is it doable?
Yeah.
Does this fit the conventions of the genre?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any sort of roadblocks we see that could possibly happen?
Using the school, maybe, possibly.
Okay.
Because if they wanted to, if you want to create like a dingy look, you're using a school that's got relatively good lighting. So you're going to have to use a lot of editing.
We're planning on doing the shots after school when there's no students, so we can black out the whole school, so we can black out windows and everything and make it completely dark. So the when we black it out, you can't see it's blacked out. If that makes sense.
Also, the lack of natural sunlight will help in that regard too. It's that time of year,
Yeah,
right?
that's the sort of thing we're working with.
Okay.
So we're hoping to get up, edit, and film done ASAP while we've still got darkness on our side.
You can have darkness on your side for a few months yet. Yeah. Okay.
Early summer.
Thank you. Oh, question.
What's like your, I might have missed it, but what's your main plot for the thing? Because all I got was someone with creepy handwriting and low ankle.
The main plot is that it's kind of an asylum. Either it's abandoned or it's in use. But we tried not to put too much of a narrative in it and too much of a story, because thriller openings can be very plot heavy, and we thought it would be quite hard to add it in and make it make sense. So it's kind of left to interpretation for quite a bit of it.
Okay, so basically we're establishing there's going to be a setting. We're establishing the setting. Are we going to introduce ourselves to a protagonist or something, or?
We have one.
Or is the antagonist? We starting with them? What's
I
the?
think it's the antagonist.
We have one character, but we're not sure whether she's going to be the protagonist or antagonist yet.
Okay, so I think we need some fleshing out still here, which is a little unfortunate. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.